Hi everybody, it's Richard here again and welcome to another video. Now this is my top 20 instrumental tracks. Now I actually put on the title top 20 rock pop instrumental tracks, but it's not really, it's anything goes apart from jazz and big elongated prog tracks. So looking through my collection I picked out 20 and I put them not in really any order at all, but the top three would be the top three, so let's get to it. So anyway, at number 20 I've gone with this one here, and it's the Commodores, and it's a top 20 hit from 1974, and it's Machine Gun, and it is a real funky little number, and obviously it's an instrumental, no words. But yeah, it's brilliant. I've always loved this as well. It's one of the highlights of the early Commodores for me that I've actually heard. So it gets my number 20. Now at number 19 is an LP track, and it's from Love's a Prima Donna by Steve Harley and Cockney Rebel, and the track is Side Track 2. Now there is a Side Track 1 as well, but we'll talk about Side Track 2 first. And this is like an orchestrated piece. I think it's at the very end of side 1, and it builds and it builds, and it's got a really hooky melody to it. It's a really good song. So yeah, Side Track 2 gets my number 19. But also I do like, just to show you this Side Track 1, which you can get on this really good album, Mr. Soft. I've had this for years. This is one of the albums that actually got me into Steve Harley and Cockney Rebel. And it was originally the B-side of Love's a Prima Donna. However, it's different in that it's a band version, as in a group. So you get your traditional guitars, bass, drums, keyboards doing it, and the big sort of crescendo at the end is guitar. I like the both of them, but at the moment I think I prefer the orchestrated version. So Sidetrack, whichever one, number 19. Okay, at number 18 we have a number 5 hit from 1968. And it's Sabre Dance by Love Sculpture, the band that Dave Edmunds was in. And this is brilliant. It's a reading of a classical piece by, if I can get the name of this guy right, Khachaturian or something like that. It really does show off Dave Edmunds' technical skills on the guitar, because he actually is a really good guitarist. And it's a real crowd pleaser whenever he performs it in concert. So that's number 18, Sabre Dance. At number 17, and from 1982, and it's an LP track from Blancmange, and it's called Sad Day, and it's a simple little number with simple little chords, but I think it's so melodic and so effective, and it's one of the highlights of this album for me. This is really good. This is the one with Living on the Ceiling and Waves on it. But Sad Day has always been a highlight, so that gets my number 17. At number 16, and we have Mr. Paul McCartney from McCartney 2, and I love both of the instrumentals on this, but I think my favourite is Front Parlour. Again, it is so catchy, it's so melodic, as is the other one, Frozen Jab. But to me, Front Parlour, it opens up side 2 of this, and it's fantastic, and I've always loved it. I think a lot of McCartney fans aren't too keen on this one. Most of them go for Frozen Jab, but for me, Front Parlour just edges it. Okay, 15, and from the Flash Gordon soundtrack, and it's Football Fight, which was the B-side of the Flash single. And there is some commentary from the movie in the song, but it is an instrumental. And it's frenetic, it is great, fantastic keyboards, and then Brian May's guitar comes in to copy the keyboards. It's only about a minute and a half long, but it is absolutely fantastic. And outside of the two songs, Flash and the Hero, this would be my favourite. Okay, number 14, and we have from the Police, and it's Behind My Camel from side 2. I used to not like this, but now it's a highlight of the album for me. The thing I like about it is it's very sparse, and it shows off Andy Summers' guitar playing. There's not a lot to it. The backing of the song is very basic bass riff, very basic drum beat, but there's something about it. It's the sound that Andy Summers gets on that guitar that really does work for me. And so from Zenyatta Mondatta, it's Behind My Camel, number 14. Number 13, and it's a hit single in 1981, a number 7 hit single for Madness, and it's the return of the Las Palmas 7. And this got to number 7, surprisingly, in the charts, and it is just a really nice song. Now there's chitter chatter and all in the background, but it's got a really good summery feel to it, and I love it, and it gets number 13. And at number 12, I have to show a single for this. It's the Housemartins. The single is Happy Hour, but the B-side of it is an instrumental called The Mighty Ship, which is a very basic little number. It starts off with the bass line, then it goes into Stan Cullimore's very familiar guitar playing and Paul Heaton's harmonica playing, and it's so catchy, but I've always loved it. I think this is the one that actually was the theme for the documentary of the Housemartins way back in the mid to late 80s, but yeah, brilliant song, brilliant track actually. So number 12, The Mighty Ship. And at number 11 is from the Electric Light Orchestra, and it is Fire on High. This has never been one of my favourites, but whenever I was preparing for this video, I really did enjoy it. Now there is some mumbled words at the start, but you can't work out what they are, and they're not sung, they're spoken anyway, but it's essentially an instrumental. This song I think would fit perfectly on a New World Record or even Out of the Blue. The strings on it are amazing, and it's just really good, so it gets my number 11. Now number 10. This is an instrumental, although there is words to this. I think it's an old folk tune, but I don't know which came first, just the words of the music. But it's a Christmas favourite of mine, and it's Mike Oldfield's In Dulce Jubilo, and I'm not too sure who actually wrote it. If you check YouTube, you'll see him playing all the instruments in this, and it just builds and builds until you get that absolutely fantastic guitar solo near the end. It really is good, and you hear it every year at Christmas as well. So Mike Oldfield's In Dulce Jubilo at number 10. Now number 9, David Bowie has had a lot of instrumentals, and by the way, I forgot to say at the start of the video, I'm only picking one track per artist. So to pick one from David Bowie is very difficult, because Low's got a lot, Heroes has got a lot, then there's Crystal Japan, which was fantastic. But I'm actually going to pick one off Heroes, and I'm going to pick Moss Garden on side 2. It's very sparse, it's very oriental, there's the ambience in the background. The time between each note is actually quite long in the picking of whatever instrument it actually is, but I love this, I really do. Now I will admit it took me ages to get to like side 2 of Heroes. Now I prefer side 2 to side 1. Put it this way, it was the CD in the 90s. I've had this album since 1980, but it was the CD in the 1990s that actually made me appreciate side 2. So Moss Garden gets my number 9. And the two songs on either side, Sense of Doubt and Nukun, are excellent as well. Okay, at number 8, and this is a single from Elton John called Dear God, and the B-side of it is a track called Tactics. And it's a nice little instrumental. It sounds as if it could be a TV theme song, but it really is good, and I've always enjoyed it, and it never gets on any CDs as bonus tracks. It's funny because when 21 at 33, the album Dear God came from, was releasing CD, they didn't put on any bonus tracks, and there's 3 here: Tactics, Steal Away Child and Love So Cold that could have got on, plus 2 others from the other singles, but they didn't do it. So Tactics, nice little tune, sounds like something you would get in a Black Beauty or something like that there, but it's a really good wee number. I guess my number 8. Number 7, and I've shown this before as well, and this was a hit in 1983, number 17 for Mezzo Forte, and it's Garden Party, full of horns, very summery, absolutely love it. It's really cool to dance to. Well, it was when I was 17 years old, but I bought this when it came out, and I believe this is used as a radio jingle in one of the radio stations here in Northern Ireland. I've been told that. I don't listen to the radio, so I don't know. But Garden Party, number 7, excellent. Okay, number 6, and we have The Shadows, and they've had obviously millions of instrumentals because they're an instrumental band, I think the equivalent in America would be the Ventures. But which one am I going to pick? Well, my favourite is one of their 5 number ones, and it's Kon-Tiki. And I just love the guitar picking of Hank Morgan on it. It's just really good. I can't listen to too much Shadows. I have 4 or 5 songs in a row and then I'm done. But Kon-Tiki is always my favourite. Okay, at number 5, and this is a tune by Offenbach, or a piece by Offenbach I should say. And Bad Manners took it and got a hit single in 1981, and it's Can Can. Now, I've always loved even the Offenbach version with an orchestra. It's a fantastic piece of music, with or without the girls dancing. I just love the music. Now, Bad Manners took it and they sort of scattered up a little bit, and there's some na-na-nas in it, but it's counted as an instrumental because there's no actual formed words. But this was great, and I remember Buster Bloodvessel bouncing all around the top of the Pop Studio performing this back in the day, and excellent stuff, and it gets them my number 5. Okay, number 4, and the number 1 hit from 1968 by Fleetwood Mac, and it's Albatross, and this is the one that John Lennon sort of borrowed for Sun King. Now, I remember this in the charts, and I don't know how I could have until I realised it was reissued again in 1973, and I got to number 2. So I got to number 1 in 68 and 2 in 73. It's just an absolutely gorgeous, moody piece, and I love it, so it gets my number 4. So my top 3, number 3, and I'll show this album. This is the Stranglers, the collection, rather than showing the Gospel According to the Men in Black, because I did a Stranglers video not so long ago. And it's the track Waltz in Black, and it's freaky, it's creepy, it's catchy, and it was used as the theme tune for Keith Floyd's cookery show. But this is brilliant. I absolutely love it. This is actually one of the first Stranglers albums I ever bought. Got this when it came out in '82. But Waltz in Black, absolutely brilliant little piece, and it's the highlight of the Gospel According to the Men in Black. And my number 2, and it's from 1981, and I got to number 12, and it's from Chariots of Fire, and it is The Titles, and I've never ever got sick of this. I just think it is absolutely magnificent, gorgeous piece of work by Vangelis, who recently passed away. So that's my number 2. And who can guess what my number 1 is? I'm sure somebody can. And it's the title track of Arrival by ABBA. Now, there are ahs in this, so there is backing vocals, but no formed words. Now, there is a few versions with words from the 1980s, but the original is an instrumental, and it is magnificent. And I also love Mike Oldfield's version as well. So my number 1 is ABBA, Arrival. Okay, that's my 20 instrumentals, my favourite 20 from my own collection. Now, there are others that I don't have which would have gotten there. I would have loved to have included Gary Moore's Still, what's it called, Still Feeling the Blues or something like that, or even Parisian Walkways, but I don't have them, so I couldn't include them. Okay, that's me for now. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope to have another video quite soon. All the best now. Bye bye.